Hello and welcome to another session of Knights Black Agents Express. And this is our take on the Knights Black Agents system, minor modification to the Gumshoe game. And we are playing through, we've been hitting some Dracula dossier bits, but for those of you following at home, you may notice that most of the elements have been drawn from the Persephone extraction a module. So if you're following that, my name is Lowell, pronouns he, him, and this session is part of the Gauntlet Gaming Calendar, which is an online gaming community. You can find out more about that at gauntlet-rpg.com. If you popped up into this and looked at it and didn't realize that there are like a dozen plus sessions before this one. So I encourage you to go back, because if you don't, you'll be as lost as we are when you come into the figuring out what conspiracy's up to. As with all games in the Gauntlet, we are using layered safety tools, which include the X card. And a reminder with the X card, if something has popped up before and you didn't X card it, but now it happens later and now it's starting to bug you, legit to X card it. As well, open door policy. And finally, lines and veils. Our lines, a reminder: harm to children, homophobia, racism, sexual assault, a virus, plagues, pandemic. And then veils, meaning we fade to black if this occurs, dental horror, harm to animals, sexual content, and torture. I normally would line torture, but it's in genre, and if it goes to that, we just fade and we resolve the situation. I don't think we have anything that's marked as ask first. So with that in mind, we're going to have the players introduce their characters, and then we will frame up exactly where we are at. Let us start. I'm going to work right to left this time. So let's start with Jimmy Rook, who has a new picture.
Hi, Jimmy Rook, under his current guise of Richard Briggs, which has been burned quite heavily, I think, after last week, following Peter on a half-cocked idea to shoot a vampire in a fancy party. But we did get some good intel on that, which is that Morgaine, who we thought might be a patsy, is a willing member of the conspiracy and host to a vampire, and appears to have been reunited with that. And when last we left Jimmy, he was very worried because Morgaine has been made some threats against his on again, off again former paramour Kasha, who they met in Paris, and he's been unable to get in touch with her ever since, which isn't unusual. You know, she doesn't pass on his number like her number in use. She changes identities a lot, but it's worrying. It's definitely worrying.
And it should be. Don't forget to take your refresh between session refresh. Then next is Henrietta Michaels.
Sorry, I forgot where the mute button was when we were sharing. Hello, my name is Alan. I use he, him. I'm playing Henrietta Michaels, Henry to a friend, she, her. You will see that Henry is channeling Orphan Black. Currently, her cover is as a Scandinavian student on a gap year MK or Vera. And Henry thinks we got away lightly last time. Henry is already booking plane tickets because we are blown as blown can be.
And would that revolve around you walking into a police station, being arrested, that being on camera, and then you extricating a murder suspect?
Who then turns up dead? Yes.
Who then turns up dead? Yes.
Yeah. So you know, Cosima we knew was blown anyway from Paris. So yeah, now they know Cosima's in Barcelona, and has escaped, having apparently surrendered herself into custody. But also the story Jimmy tells about what happened at this fancy party just scares the bejesus out of Henry.
Excellent. And just because it seems the right point to say that, I'm ticking the heat up 2 boxes.
Can I spend my disinformation?
Oh, would you like to
Yes, yes, God, yes.
Okay, so let's reduce that to 1 tick up.
Okay, and you know, specifically the way I would like to raise this disinformation is rumors that Casima's MI6, right?
Mm.
The group of people who've been sniffing around these Orpheus and so forth. I want to try and lay as much trail down that route as possible. Jimmy did think that maybe they'd have a live person to hand over to someone and buy some favors, but
It's not how it turned out. Fair enough.
Now, Peter has turned into a cold-hearted killer.
Yeah, there was a lot of dun 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 stinger music at the end of the last episode, which brings us to Peter.
Hello, I'm Paul, he, him, playing the character Peter Skellen, also he, him, an ex-GCHQ analyst with a few in-the-field skills, which seems to have developed as time has gone on. His cover story is, as ever, as a religious figure. This time it's Batushka Christopher Klitu, who is a Orthodox priest, but the picture you see in front of you is Peter in his normal form. And yeah, I think last time Peter opened up the eyes of a few of the other players when he, I probably would use the term cold-heartedly murdered somebody. Let's not beat around the bush. He had his reasons, and I'd like to think one of his partners in crime, Carl, understood those reasons and is on his side. He's not too sure about Jimmy, and yeah, Henrietta, she's pretty fragged at this stage, so she could go either direction. We just don't know.
Fair enough. And so that does bring us to Carl.
Hello, good evening. I'm Paweł. I'm playing Karl Pot, who is ex-Polish commando from Grom, who is currently, when we see him on the street, I don't even know if he's even pretending to be Antonio José Lopez, the Latin musician. He's probably wearing a long coat with a baseball bat and some fake mustache. Because yes, our time in here is hot. It's time to do something and get out.
That seems like a good assessment of the situation. So let me stop screen sharing here. So last time we left off with the big incidents on the table being the extraction of Montserrat, CEO for Eurydice Investments here, and then the attendance by other two at Calix's party and the confrontation of Morgaine, who knows that your team is here, and has probably gone and told that to Calix. But the more important thing post that, in sort of the wee hours of the morning, would have been your group speaking with Montserrat, and Montserrat laying out a lot more of what is going on with these Orphic vampires, the threat that they pose, the sort of key locales, and a little bit of how Calix is into this, but maybe not as many details as you'd hoped for. Montserrat was then his body was dumped, and so we're on sort of that following day of the group there in Barcelona, and I think that we probably do need a scene of the four of you talking next steps. And I believe you are in a safe house, correct?
Yes, it's still technically safe. And I think that I'd like to open on Henry talking to a burner phone, waiting to get through to a flight booking, shouting over her shoulder, "No, we are not fucking staying."
So as I understood it from the messages, it did seem like Peter was advocating a particular course of action. And so let's have you begin with presenting what you see as the steps.
Yeah. I think I'll just quickly go to the fridge, take out 4 beers, distribute them around the group. I'll, of course, open them for everybody. When Jimmy takes one, I will give it a sly wink
Yeah.
as he starts drinking.
No, Jimmy doesn't start drinking. Jimmy reaches over and grabs yours. And tosses you his and takes that.
Ah, the old switch. I could, of course, be used to what's in it, Jimmy.
Yeah, we've all
built up an intolerance.
We've all seen The Princess Bride, Peter. Come on out with it.
Okay, so the plan. Here we go. More game. Take the vampire that's with her off the board. Daylight hours. No, let's put everything we can to get it on our side. So daylight hours attack. When she's going down the road, let's look at the geography. Some forest at the side of the road when she's transiting from a house to a place of work. Somebody with some sort of like proper car skills. That could be me, could be somebody else. Either redirect her, because that is a car skilly thing, redirect her down whatever course we want by cutting her up, forcing her on the freeway, and then somebody else or that person, anyway, on the freeway, when we're going past a forest, knock her off the road down into the forest, where Carl, with his evil crossbow, goes to town on her with a few other people, beating merciless hell in daylight hours with lots of wood on that vampire.
May I interject?
Please do, Henry. Please do.
1, we don't know where she works.
We can find that out.
2,
that's not hard.
2, she's operating with a significant level of security. So what are we going to do with the follow cars?
Well, unless they want to pursue her off the road, they're going to stay on the road.
Of course they'll pursue her off the road. They're scared shitless of Calyx.
Doesn't matter. They won't necessarily drive off a road as in commit an accident. All this is doable. We've got the skills, or we can get the skills.
Listen, we can. When we signed up, when we all got into this, I thought, it was just about killing the vampires, right? But they've got a plan. And from what Montserrat told us, she's delivered her end of it. They've got the blood, they've got the stuff. Killing Morgaine takes another vampire off the board, and I'm all for that. But it sounds like there's more than 1. There's more than 2. There's more than 3. There's a lot of them, right? This seems like a bigger outfit in terms of these shadow things than it does than the other lot have. They've not just got 4 assets that they're keeping track of. They've got plenty.
We might be able to get something from her once we remove the vampire.
Oh, you didn't see her.
She might freely submit some details. If not, we get some information from her in a not freely submitted method.
I don't know, a woman who's willing to kill the world to see her a dead family. I'm not sure what leverage I'm going to bring to that. At least we would get
some closure on a few questions. Plus, it will remove 1 from the board, and we will do it on our terms rather than, I think, on their terms, like something at night, something in his house. I think we can section her out. We've got the skills within the group. So I'd say, let's go for it. You can't keep hiding from these vampires. We've got to start removing them from the board. And I think this is a controlled method to do it.
Carl,
my man. Carl's in. It involves cars and a crossbow. It's good.
Yeah, well, what can I say? I'm totally pro bono honest, and because she is the link to the blood they need, and we need this information because we can go to Istanbul and look after every rock, but the source of the information is over here under. We just need to reach and grasp it, and it will be either Morgaine or something she carries. I hope we will find something that will lead us to this blood.
You sure you haven't just developed a taste, Peter?
For blood? I have developed a taste for vampires off the board, that's for sure. I want to see it happen. You know, and I think we've got the talents. Hint, hint. You know, somebody may have previously done some training as a stunt driver or a wheelman. That could possibly, I could have possibly done that training in the past. You know, once we get them off the road into some forest at the side of the road, you know, I don't think it's really a problem. Bit of surveillance, work out, you know, when she's leaving the house. You know, a good wheelman can put her in whatever direction we want it to be.
Okay, just clarify for me, how widely distributed is forest within Barcelona? She lives in Barcelona.
For the kinds of things you're talking about, you'd have to be probably on the outskirts of the city.
Exactly. So
yeah, we can push it. We can push her in that direction. That's fine. A good wheelman can push her in that direction. We only need a stunt driver then to jib her off the road, or somebody just good at driving. That's
suicidal. Oh, hang on, I'm through. Yes, I would like to book a flight.
The best I see that we get out of this is a test run at killing one of these things if we bring everything to it.
Yeah, I think that would give us that as well. We can pre-position people where we need them. I'm more than happy to either be the stunt driver or the wheelman, unless somebody else does, or...
All right. Peter's plan is kill Morgaine, yeah?
No, remove the vampire.
Remove the... All right, well...
So, I mean, if she dies in the process, I think that'll be a bit of a loss, because I think she's got some good intel.
You have to entice a vampire out. I'd forgotten about that. Oh, yeah, obviously. Yeah.
We have seen that they can be separated.
Yeah, blood, you know, it wouldn't be hard to, you know, we could eat, like, you know, a quarter of a pint of blood. That wouldn't be too hard to leach out now.
It has to be fresh.
Okay, somebody can, you know, I think we can entice one over. But I don't think we know how to do it. I don't think that one's at all hard. That's all right. The hardest thing is getting her to where we want to be and then jibbing her off the road.
Well, let's pause here, because I think that it's probably important, because there's a lot of assumptions in the plan that's being put forward, that we work to test those assumptions and to gather information. And I think we probably need to do a once around to get operational details, and then come back to this discussion. Does that seem fair?
It does.
Okay. Let me start with you, Peter. You have some time here in this morning. What do you need to know?
We want to know where she starts and where she finishes the route. So probably from home to work, or work to home. I think that's the first thing we need to know.
You don't know if she works. That's one thing. But let's assume that the workplace...
Or goes to the supermarket.
Would be the facility, that the office facility that you've tracked. You do have her location. However, and this is because you put some surveillance, she's not home.
Okay,
Pavel,
and she's not at...
Let me give you the surveillance read on this, because Carl took the time to set this up beforehand. You will run the footage from the party. The party that goes on until late hours. You will see it goes very late. You don't see Morgaine leave. You don't see Myrmidon people leave. You don't see Vallejo leave, or Calix. You do see some party goers leave. And then after a while, another hour and a half later, you see some of the Myrmidon security staff come out and get into cars and drive them away, and then come back. And then it's probably just before dawn that you'll see Vallejo and his people and one of the Myrmidon security people come out. Vallejo looks weird, like he's clearly kind of not all together. and those people will then get into essentially Vallejo's team of cars, and they will take off. You don't see Calix leave. You don't see Morgaine leave.
Okay, so we clearly believe them to still be in the house.
Yes.
I think that would be a safe assumption. So either we wait for them to come out of the house. I don't believe we should go in. Or is the drug dealer worthy as a target?
I'd say he's a good target. I wonder what happened in Devil's House. So he's been overnight and he looked shaken in the morning. He was being courted by Calix when we were there. If it's like the Cave Divan, that's where they do things where they speak to their vampires and things.
Do we think they've given him a vampire? Or a vampire's got control of him?
Yes.
On what evidence? On what evidence?
I think it's
what
worth
evidence.
Well,
I think it's worth worrying about that.
Let's pause there. So that's the information you get, Peter, which we'll assume it's shared. Jimmy, do we want to come to you?
I mean, Jimmy's going to be doing one thing, really.
Which is?
Ringing Kasha.
Okay. I think you will call multiple times, but she goes on jobs.
Yeah. I think it like the ringing cuts to a similar time where it's her ringing Jimmy as he's breaking into a building, and he's like 3 burner phones away from that one, and they don't speak for months.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just slapping him in the face as soon as she, when they finally meet up again in another city. So I'm going to use that as my refresh.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Cool. I'm going to untick disinformation because I'm going to need
that. Carl, what do you want to know? What do you want to follow up on?
First off, I think we ended up last session on Carl opening books and desperately browsing for whatever Lilith might have done to close the gate of to the underworld. So maybe let's resolve this. Maybe this will tell us something.
So go ahead and make that research spend.
Sure.
I think what you will see is that there were seals that were put in place by Lilith that could only be broken by her or her brood. But it all revolves around blood. All of this sort of the Greek underworld mythology revolves around blood, and this is clearly a cross with that. And it's unclear where the gate lies, but that it is not like a seal closed, seal open. It's that there are stages of the seal being undone, with more access and more power being granted there. You do see that in the sort of mythology, it isn't that Lilith did this by standing outside. She had to go into the underworld to close the gate. What you'll know is that that's the gate to the Greek underworld, that there are figures and they're shades, they're hungry ghosts that become more solid the more that they are fed blood. That is a classic how Odysseus and others we're able to channel and get their wisdom from them. I think that just based on sort of the descriptions, that if you get close to that place, that you'll be able to tell that you are there.
Close to the seal.
Yes, if you get close to the place where this is happening, you will be able to tell.
Okay. Yeah, I think at some point Carl will approach Peter or Jimmy and say, would you think that the Devil's House is the place where there's a gate to the Underworld? Did it feel weird?
Not unless it's a bit weird for Greek heroes to be troping around to Barcelona, isn't it?
Yeah, I think more the other end of the Mediterranean is where this is going to be.
Well, Greece, right? Would that be too obvious?
Well,
remember ancient Greece?
I know what you're saying.
Actually, where Greece is, it was a lot bigger than where Greece is now.
I know what you're saying. Istanbul's close to the closest point we've got there. But I'm just saying, Montserrat wasn't sure if Istanbul was the location. Remember? So Greece, I'm just putting it out there that maybe it's right under our, we don't need to look for clever clues. It could just be there. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Well, we don't know where in Greece, but that's a big, and the fact that it's seal by seal means that we can, it's going to take them time where we can stop it. Underworld, is that, well, a real place, a name for a real, who knows, right? But solid stuff.
And just to clarify, if I were to set level, the place where the seal is the place with higher level of ghosts and other supernatural undead things.
That essentially the wherever this is a passageway that has been locked. I mean, the ghosts and spirits can move throughout, but this is a rending place in the world, and there are several levels to unlocking it. Lilith's lock on it is not a simple key. It is several stages. But you suspect, given what you've seen, that at least one of those stages has already been opened.
Carl, this shit is getting weird. I thought it was weird when it was bloody Dracula. And now, the Underworld. Portals to other places, God.
Henry, after you get your plane tickets and you hear this information, what do you need to look into? You have a sense that Vallejo has gone off one direction with some people. Have a sense of where Calix and Morgaine are. What is it you want to know?
The honest truth is, I want to know when the taxi's arriving, because this is a harebrained scheme that we need to get away from as quickly as possible. The plan is built like a calendar. I think that she might be prepared to spend an occult, if that's worth trying to add anything to what Carl's already got. But that's the only thing in her mind at the moment.
We're making a occult spend?
Yeah.
Let's kind of piggyback onto what Carl has pulled together. I think that you will realize that Istanbul is going to be important. If Istanbul is not the place, it is a major stepping stone to the place. And it may be that it may be a stepping stone that you need to go through to be able to locate, where this final portal is, or find what you need to seal that portal. They're clearly investing a lot of occult energy and resources and money there. we're talking Byzantium. We're talking the one of the old places with old historical annotations to it, and it's going to be important.
Fine. Can I get a taxi now?
Well, hopscotch off. I mean, I'm not going to stop you.
But you have to see, Peter, your plan doesn't have a prayer as described.
What, of taking this bloke off the road and capturing him?
We've just spotted him leaving.
Yeah. He's a well-known drug dealer.
Just gonna tear off after him.
We can find him again. Right. I don't think that's a hard thing to do.
We don't know if he's a vampire. We don't know if he knows anything or if he's just shocked. Talk about going in blind, man.
Listen, whatever he is, he's something that they want, right?
Yeah.
Whatever deal they've made is with him.
Be the worst.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, he's a fucking international drug dealer. I've got no qualms about taking him out. And I reckon he'd be easier than Morgaine down in that house, right? He's gonna have blokes with guns. But he's on a boat. We know where
Surveillance. You guys, this discussion continues. So let me frame up where we're following. Eyes on him will lead. You will see that he and his cadre arrive at a 5-star hotel, just a few blocks away from Camp Nou, the Barcelona FC stadium. And you see that essentially that group of security and one of these Myrmidon guys and Vallejo will head quickly from the parking garage into the hotel. It does suggest to you that the event that is scheduled for this evening, the FC Barcelona game, is still, apparently that's still on and in the cards.
Hot stuff taking someone on near near Barcelona, FC Barcelona. It's doable, but it's hot stuff.
Yeah, either we get him on the way there or we get him in a box, because I'm sure he's not going to be sat down, you know, with the rest of the Barcelona plebs. He'll be in a VIP box, so we either take him there or we take him on the way there. You know, the roads are quite crowded. You know, let's think the Italian job here. It's doable.
Out of curiosity, do we see that in one of the VIP suites of the hotel, the windows are like the shutters on windows are being closed for the day? Do we see something like this?
I think there's a lot of the hotel rooms that have essentially their shades drawn, but certainly if you're reading that as a way to narrow it down, I think you can probably eliminate, say, half or more of the rooms as a result of that. I think that's pretty easy to do.
And you mentioned that there's someone with him from not his entourage, some kind of like is it like a Calix guard? Is it one of the Calix guards?
One of the Calix guards that you've seen around several times, who's clearly highly placed.
Okay, how about this? If he's traveling from the hotel to Nou Camp, we do the road distraction to put him into a route we want. Previously to that, we will have stolen a bin lorry with a big industrial bin lifter on the front. Just pick his car up, flip it into the back of the bin lorry, and then bugger off. Then we can deal with him and whoever's in the car reasonably at our leisure. We just want to remove him from as much security as we can, and then it's easy to peel what's left off.
You want to do a hit on him?
I prefer to capture him. One, because I actually think he may have a vampire on him. So, I'd like Carl with his crossbow with us. If he's not got a vampire with him, I think he's worth a lot of information.
All right. Can I spend a surveillance or notice to try and pinpoint a weak, like an opportunity, like in his movements, his pattern, something that will give us that kind of chance to actually get at him? And
given the situation, given the whatever weaknesses, vulnerabilities, you suspect that they are going to be staying put for the day, which means that where they are going to be from mid-morning until late afternoon, early evening, which is wherever the hotel room is. At that point, they will likely full entourage and security team and stuff move to go the short distance from there to the stadium. The problem is, as you say, it is crowded, which means it's easy for targeting if you want to take them out. For extracting someone with the kinds of resources that you would need, vehicles, things like that, that's a different story. The other thing is, that Calix is supposed to be at the game as well.
In case anyone forgot, he's the guy who, and I quote, tore the board of Eurydice to pieces. Just wanted to put that in the conversation.
Yeah, and I'm sure at some stage we may have to fight him. I don't think this is the place to do it. But I think we will come up against him again.
Yeah, in Istanbul.
Oh, that's right. Istanbul is full of operatives on our side. I don't think it'll be any different there to here.
Jimmy?
What we're looking at is we either wait even longer and they do the game and they leave and we spend more time here and we don't know what's going on. We go into the hotel and it's going to be loud and messy. There are people around. There's no way we can play this where it's going to be nice and simple. There are too many of them, too many eyes, too many, it's a 5-star hotel, a high hardened target. Lots of other people,
that's too hard a target.
And whatever we do there, the fallout will be huge from it as well.
Yeah,
right?
I think on the road. Now,
but on the road is much later because he's only 5 minutes away from FC Barcelona. We're right near FC Barcelona.
Well, he's 5 minutes distance, but at pre-game time that could take a bit longer. Now, metagaming, Lowell, so the 3 driving stunts are stunt driver, hot wires. I don't think hot wires is particularly useful, or wheelman. If I want to extract quickly from crowded streets, which of those 2 stunts, either wheelman or stunt driver, is better? For instance, if I wanted to drive a bin lorry down a pedestrian's sort of only street and down some steps, a bit like sort of, the French Connection special, maybe down a weir or something, is stunt driver probably better?
If you don't care about people knowing where you're going, I mean, the stunt driver is certainly the louder of the 2, especially again, crowded streets, big event, police on high alert right now. That's certainly
for big cars, big trucks driving around.
Wheelman is a way to. Wheelman is particularly used, like would have been the one if you're following their convoy. That's the one to use to break that up for that kind of situation.
Okay, so if we think he's going in a convoy, I could possibly do wheelman. If we just want to sort of like pick him off the street and then just, drive through pedestrian centres, stuntman would be the better one to do.
I think we have to let Peter get this out of his system. I'll see you in Istanbul. I'm not going to stay and watch this.
Come on, Henry. We can't leave her. Can't leave him to this.
What? Are you serious, Jimmy?
Come on, Henry.
This has complete disaster written all over it. We have too little intelligence. We don't know who's going to be in the cars at what time. We don't know the routes. Jesus Christ, man.
It's broad daylight in the middle of downtown Barcelona.
I was going to add that.
And all of the routes with a truck, with everything, no matter the best driver in the world isn't going to hide the fact that the route is slower because of traffic, which means it's slower because there's more eyes on everything, and we've got to cause more chaos and disruption to get out of there. We're going to get picked up the second we leave. I don't think extraction's on the cards here without some super James Bond stuff.
There are two other tracks to consider here. Number one, they have to leave the game at some point. That's another window of vulnerability. The other thing is, all of this revolves around that yacht.
So you could go back to the yacht afterwards.
So that's another like hard point to investigate or infiltrate or go to. And I would say this, you guys, I think this is a tradecraft spend here. If Jimmy, because I think you were on site for this.
Yeah, I can do that.
They are on a high alert, like you coming in and showing your faces there last night clearly pushed up their timetable. Plus, Montserrat, the person who knows what's going on, vanished from the police station. And when 2 and 2 gets put together of Montserrat and the woman who was involved in the bombing in Paris gets put together, they're clearly moving things up. You think that probably what's going to happen is they have to follow through on the FC Barcelona for some reason, probably money and organizational things and stuff. But you suspect that after that there's going to be a move to the yacht for at least part of that group, and maybe moving from there to begin operations.
Okay. So should we switch to the yacht?
Yeah, I think we have to wait and get him on the yacht somehow. In the meantime, I mean, it's a bit risky, but we could like break into. But I don't think there's anything to find. Yeah,
you're looking for the blood.
No, I said maybe breaking into the hotel room is interesting, but I don't think there's anything we can find. If we were to find any PdA or data storage, it will probably not be on the yacht or in the hotel room.
I think they're on super high alert for that kind of, we tipped our hand already here.
I think the hotel room's quite a hard location.
The yacht, if we're going after them, the yacht, I guess, right? Okay. All things said and considered, I think that Jimmy would be veering towards, sympathizes a lot with Henry in terms of getting out of there and rather than waiting longer in Barcelona. But the yacht could be, it's also an isolated place in and of itself because it's a yacht.
Yeah.
We can just, all things go wrong, we just sink that thing and get the hell out, right? And it's done. That's no matter what we do, we're going to draw buckets of heat down on us if we go loud at any point. And I think it's going to go loud the way that they're positioned. There's no catching them off guard at this point.
Okay, do we want to assault the yacht beforehand? Do we want to assault the yacht when he's on the yacht?
Maybe not. So let's use the phrase infiltrate.
Yeah, infiltrate.
Yeah, I guess so. Hopefully he will go on the start getting away from the city, so we can get him and his limited crew on the water.
Yeah, are we hitting them out of the water? Or are we hitting them before they set off?
I think hit them on the water.
We
Ground
don't
police
know
will
that.
be able to catch to us, and so on and so on.
Mhm.
So my
We don't know.
assumption is, if I may, the next step is an infiltration of the yacht to gather intel, to see what's going on there. While Calix and Vallejo and all of them are occupied with their other things, you have a window of opportunity. So that feels like the next step.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it docked or is it floating?
It is going to be offshore at the moment, but you definitely will be able to check and see that it is scheduled to essentially come closer later this evening. So let's take 5. When we come back, I'm going to hard cut to dockside Barcelona.
I took a look at my Night's Black Agents bundle the other day, Lowell, and just from looking at the titles, I was like, oh, I see how he's done it.
Yeah, I'm actually very curious to look at that Fall of Delta Green Gumshoe game. I because that's in that newest bundle, and I haven't really looked at that. I had picked up Time Watch, but it was really not my bag. This is, of course, the week that I've planned my things badly. So I have 6 sessions that I'm running this week, and 2 that I'm playing.
Oh, it's Rich Rogers level.
Yeah, it is.
I thought you were trying to kind of achieve.
I was,
kind of Zen-like balance. 2
games that needed extensions. One of them, the Free from the Oak, had to carry on to Monday for this month because we had a bunch of sessions lost, and then we were doing the second part of this Academy of the Blade game. It really was supposed to be just this game and my home game and tomorrow night's Veil game, but it got overloaded.
The best laid plans.
Exactly. And I do keep doing that thing where I'm like, I'm just running 2 games in April. There are a lot of people who want new games. Maybe I should, man, just stop yourself.
Yeah, no, because I kept March thin, and I keep looking at the middle of the week and thinking, I could often run a game on Thursdays. What difference would that make, really?
It's all okay. All right. Let me have this next bite of this Pop-Tart, and then we'll continue on.
I just wanted to say I actually really enjoy the in-character discussions of all of our plans and everything,
Well, I love Blaze in the Dark and sort of the cuts through. I think sometimes you have to have that scrum to talk things through. And I think that's good. And it is a time where personalities get exposed. So we cut to midday Barcelona harbor. This is probably more towards the side of private boats and things like that. But you can see the vessel is offshore. You will have picked up in a quick surveillance checking of things that 2 things are happening. One is that the police are watching the ports. 2 is that there have been some deliveries made to the yacht throughout the day. You hear about that because people are bitching because these things were supposed to happen, over the next couple of days, but apparently they got called and things got expedited and deliveries from various industries have been made out to the vessel. So I imagine that I need to have a sense of what is your vector. Are you going to scuba in? Are you going to like take a small boat? Are you going to try and talk your way on board? Are you going to try and slip aboard one of these delivery transports?
I thought we were going to go with Carl's friend in the Air Force and we were going to parachute onto the boat. I'm just playing with you, that's all. It'd be a good plan, though, wouldn't it, Henry? That'd be a fine plan. Rather than, let's just walk through the security fence and set off all the, oh my God, we're being attacked by vampires. That was a terrible plan.
Can I think we do need to know, when you say stuff from a variety of industries, I'm interested in whether they are setting up for a party on the yacht. Post-match party.
It does look like there's some of that, like that was clearly planned. And there are, people who are getting the party planning people and things like that. But that seems to become a secondary consideration. They're still in the queue of going out there to make deliveries, but clearly these other things coming from Eurodis Investments and elsewhere
long-term voyage
Yeah.
type stuff.
Okay. When you say party planners,
yeah,
they might not be having a party anymore.
No, I asked, and the sense I got was that there were party planners in the queue.
Yeah, they have arrived. They were hired to set something up today. They're getting some like backwash, like there's some other things ahead of them in the queue that they're making these other deliveries, but yes, they're going to be sent out there.
I think that Crystal hasn't come out of the box for a while. So I think Crystal is going to be part of the entertainment.
And what about the other three?
I think we're best commandeering one of the delivery boats. What does the rest of the Three Musketeers say?
I thought we were scuba diving over there.
That would be cool, but I think Henry would have a heart attack.
It's your plan, Peter. You lead the way, Peter.
Fine. Let's have one of these delivery vessels. That will give us multiple trips to there, dropping this stuff off for people. So we want a boat.
Okay, let's start with Henry. This feels like a test. And it feels, I would do this as physical with infiltration or operational for cover. Or even disguise if you want. You've got 3 ways to go about this.
I have. I think I'm going to go with, I'd like to make a flirting spend to give me 3 to play with. And then I think it's a combination of disguise and cover, actually. But I'm hoping not to have to spend from that if I just spend 1 from flirting to be the hottest young woman aiming to get on board this yacht.
Let's have you make that roll.
Fine. So this is Henry plus 3. That's a whole 6.
That's a whole 6.
Certainly. Come this way, madam.
So you will some kind of and like oh yeah absolutely, and a couple of guys are clearly from the vessel, and I think they're like yeah come and sit, and they kind of chat with you on the ride over, and I think then when you're all getting on the boat, I think that's the point at which they tase you.
Comms go quiet.
We'll come back to you in a moment. So
I didn't see your role, Alan.
Again?
I didn't see your role on the. Are you in a different dice room to me? Or?
I thought I went to the one that's in Lines and Veils.
Okay, I've seen a GM roll, so I think I'm seeing something. I mean, I'll quickly do a roll. See if.
Oh, I think the problem I've had is that when I went to roll with me, it asked me whether I wanted to go to a particular room.
Oh, so you went to another room? That's fine.
I think so.
Did people see my roll just there?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get a Bert. Okay.
So how do you want to work this, Peter? What do you think is the appropriate approach here? You've got smaller shipping vessels that are just carrying a small amount of cargo that's essentially going over there and getting offloaded onto their supplies and other things.
I think could I do it with a network spend that I actually know somebody here? A fisherman?
Or make a poll to somebody that can get you in. Sure, let's have you make a network spend.
Okay. I'm going to spend 3. I don't think I've got anything I can create a pool with, really. I haven't got Streetwise or Tradecraft. So, yeah, straight spend of 3. Here we go. Nine.
So that is a 9. So I think that they say, well, you know, we effectively we can't get you like to commandeer a boat, but we can get you on one of the boats, no question. Like I can get you and your people on, and you can do a ride along, you know, essentially stevedores or however.
Yep. Okay, so we're on one of these delivery boats going over, but it's not our boat, basically.
Right.
Cool. I like that.
Okay. And so it means you don't have a lot of like necessarily big equipment with you, but you do have some stuff. Jimmy, Carl, is there anything you're doing prep wise as the boat comes up and as Henry's comms go dead?
Frank.
Okay. So you fit in right with the fishermen there and the sailors. Okay.
I'm like, do we want to get there? Like, what's our plan to get there to do reconnaissance before the evening, or what's our plan to get there and stay there till the evening?
He's not on the boat, so we could definitely check it out. You know, we can always bail off the boat before he gets there if we need to. But I think now's a good time to look around the boat.
Okay. Yep.
So you 3, they come up alongside. There's, you know, they have a cargo crane that comes down to get stuff and the tie off on this yacht. Things are lifted up. You climb up to help them get things into various places. It looks like they have you move things, some of the things over into like clearly they're going to put those things away. And you have the sense that those things are going to go in the smuggler's hold. And then there's the other stuff that's clearly food, water, all of those kinds of supplies and things like that they have you crate to various places on the boat. It's huge. It is a super yacht. It is the plaything of the rich and famous, and could spend a great deal of time out at sea. And the 3 of you will be able to get on and move around. And then I assume at some point you want to try and break away.
Yes.
That feels like an infiltration roll.
Let me have a quick look at talent, see if there's... No, there's nothing really talent-wise. So spend away, I believe.
There is a mother duck is one of the infiltration talents.
That would allow one person to... is it an automatic 10? It is, actually.
For leading everybody.
It says it... yeah, okay, yeah. So in a secure location, so like a bolt hole on this ship.
Yeah.
I think that's quite good, and I am more than happy to take Mother Duck.
Are you good with that, Jimmy? I know that's kind of in your bailiwick.
Hey, no. That's, there are so many talents. One I don't have to take is perfect.
So I imagine there is a point at which you've seen that the crew seems to be a standard crew plus thugs, clearly essentially part of Vallejo's organization. You get eyes on them, and you get some costuming. And then at a certain point, the 3 of you slip down somewhere near the engine room of this place.
Knew it was going to be the engine room.
To settle yourselves in so that you can catch, wait till the coast gets a little bit clearer and you can start to investigate. Henrietta, you will come to you're in a close packed room with 5 other young women. Some of them a little dazed. All of you essentially zip tied, and you're clearly been locked away here for later.
Snacks.
What do you want to do?
I want to get some idea of what they know. So I think I'm going to go with just a straight questioning roll. I just, without drawing attention to myself, I want to find out, how did they get to be here, their story, what's happened to them.
I think with the questioning, you'll get, 5 very similar terrified stories. These are young women who entertain highly placed people for money in the upper echelons, and essentially they got hired, and it came through their reputable people, like, and I think you can kind of pull it back that certainly these are people that are on in the sort of the greater network that of wealth that Calix has. He's called some of his people to get some women to come and entertain. They were expecting the usual thing. They'd already been given a great deal of money. You notice that all of these seem like maybe middle class, lower upper class women who've gone into this trade. You don't see a lot of marks for, say, drug tracks or anything like that. They've clearly chosen women of some level of tastiness would be the word that they might use. And they're terrified. They all of them were knocked out or tased or drugged, and they've woken up here, and they know what that means. They know they're not leaving this place.
Okay. Do they feed us? What's the routine? They've been here longer than I have.
They'll say none of them have been here more than a few hours.
Okay.
Like they were given the call today, and that the party was tonight, and they should show up early, and they haven't been fed yet at all.
Okay. I think the best I can do is to wait for something to happen.
Okay. Your comms are still gone, and you still can't get a hold of Henry, the 3 of you.
Just so I'm clear.
Yeah.
Is the bud still there, or have they removed it? Because if this is a straightforward, kind of hooker heist, then they might not have looked.
I think this is a filch roll from you. How well you concealed your items about your person.
You're talking, but we can't hear you, Alan.
Yes, that's true. Given how well this has gone so far, I will spend 2 because, the chances of this going badly again are tiny.
It's your plan.
6, 7, 8.
So I don't think you have, like, whatever sort of hand purse or thing you had for other gear is gone, but your earbud is still there.
Okay, so with any luck, they are picking up the conversation I'm having with these girls.
And I think the 3 of you are parked there in the engine room when at some point Henry's comms come back on, and you can hear this conversation. The echoiness of the metal, the different voices, the desperate, panic Spanish women comes through over your headsets. Carl, what do you want to do? Situation has
Yeah.
changed. They've got some prisoners here on the boat.
Yeah, the problem is that if we save the prisoners, we blow up the party aspect of the evening. So I guess Carl is walking around trying to get to where he like. Carl is going left and right to see if where he gets like when he gets closer to Henry, and then goes and comes quietly whispering to the earbud. We are here on the boat. We can get you out now, or we can leave you for the dinner and come and get you out in the evening. Your call.
And I think I will insinuate into the conversation with other girls something like, don't worry, I'm sure it'll turn out fine.
Roger that.
So what do you do, Carl?
This is where four people are making a plan, so that there's no plan.
Well, you have a goal. Your goal is to investigate the ship, find out what's going on, find whatever materials you can, and make an educated decision from there about what your next step is, right?
Yeah. So in that case, I think we are going to look for Vallejo private quarters.
Okay. I think that's an infiltration role to sneak around the boat without being spotted and find your way there.
Sure. I'm going to spend 2 on this and see how it goes. It's a good old 6.
It is a good old 6.
More lunch.
So I think that you're moving along, and I mean, this is a little bit of what you used to do. You know, drop onto a pirate vessel, you know, or a smuggler vessel with your team, walk around in black, a few shots, pop, pop, in and out. And I think that maybe gets a little bit in the way there. And when one of these guys pops up in front of you, I think you just snap his neck. And you're not spotted, but you realize that this guy is like one of the like command staff for the boat. This is, you're not sure what the ranks are, but maybe this is the helmsman. And you've got his dead body now. We'll come back to you on that. Jimmy, this is so your element. High-end, high-stakes boat for the super rich and wealthy, the filthy rich.
I know, but there's never been people locked up in the hold before, or at least not that I've known about. I think that Jimmy, though, is going to focus. He's going to nod to Peter and say, you know, as Carl's gone off, I was going to say, I'm going to go take a look at the cargo. What are they stocking up on? What's
you mean there's cargo that's not in the normal cargo hold?
Yeah, the good stuff. Yeah.
Okay. At some stage, I would like to have a chat, the three of us, about extracting Henry, and to if we need to take out some people on this boat.
She said it's fine, but your plan, Peter, it's going well so far.
It is. Let's. You're going to go and have a Jimmy in the cargo hold.
Yeah, have a Jimmy Rook in the cargo hold. Yeah.
Okay,
Jimmy, This is an infiltration test. One of your strengths.
However, what I would really like
Yes.
is to walk down the corridor and bump into somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to bump into Heinrich, the German operator who we last saw working for Bagson, who I have a history with.
Are you marking that absurd thing?
I am marking that. What are you doing here? And I'm hoping, since I've already made the contact, because I want to have him here, and I just like, this is, we've turned them on to this. If this is possible to do,
I think there is that bit when you look up and you see Heinrich down the way, and he's clearly, he's wearing the tight shirt of one of the crew people, but he's moving around suspiciously, like he's like checking things out.
I come up behind him and I go, Herr Heinrich, fancy seeing you here. And
there's we get the camera on his face, like wince when he hears your voice. And he turns around and he says, in whatever German accent you can imagine, what the fuck are you doing here?
Well,
Was ist das, ein Jimmy Rook?
The big question is, what are you doing here, Heinrich? Last I saw you, you were working for Six. What are you doing aboard a drug dealer's ship?
Still working for Six.
Well, good luck for us all then, isn't it, really?
No, I don't think so, because the last time I ran into you, I was put in the shit. And right now, what I'm doing here is a way of digging myself out of that frickin' cesspit.
And I'm here to hand you a shovel, mate.
You more than handed me a shovel.
You got me there. Listen.
And he gestures to you to like let's get out of the crossway here. He's like, seriously, this guy is a dangerous drug dealer doing some shady smuggling. He's messed up with some nasty people. Why are you here?
Because he's
Why are you in Barcelona?
All that stuff. Look, I left my tinfoil hat at home, but it's all connected, Heinrich. It's all connected. And the thing is that I happen to know that there are 6 women, maybe more, tied up in a cargo hold, like lambs to the slaughter on this boat. A friend of mine as well.
And he looks at you dead on and he says, And
come on, mate, it's not professional, is it?
Are you saying you want me to blow my cover to help you get those women out of here?
I'm saying I'm here and you're here, and we may as well help each other out, right? What are you here for? I'm here to find out why they want what they want from Vallejo.
I'm here to keep an eye on what's going on and stay in position until I'm activated.
Right. And have you seen any women get brought on board? Brought down below, anywhere they might be?
I might know what you're talking about.
And maybe whatever they've got down in that secret cargo hold?
I haven't been able to get into there.
Well, maybe with me and you, we could find out, huh?
I really, really fucking hate you.
Oh, man, I'll buy you a beer.
All right, let's go. Peter, what are you up to?
I'm quite happy in the bolt hole.
Okay.
But I'm actually, I wouldn't mind Jimmy coming back with, I quite like the poisoning route. I'm getting a bit of an addiction to poisoning people. So, yeah, there's a lot of people on this boat, by far more than the 4 of us. So to even the odds, I wouldn't mind a bit of poisoning. Maybe not sort of deadly poisoning. So I'm hoping Jimmy will come back with some gear that I can then chemistry up into something dissolvable to either put in the water supply system or the food that clearly at some stage will be served to the crew and at least security. So that's my plan. Yeah, I'm waiting on resources to arrive.
Okay.
Although if Carl takes a bit too long, I clearly will have to go and look for him. Hopefully he won't be too long, but he may need my assistance.
You hear the sound of that door lock turning, Henry. The door comes open, and you see one of these essentially clearly the Underworld crew for Vallejo steps inside. There's a guy behind him who has a gun, and essentially just kind of lazily points it in as if to say, don't fuck with us, or I'll put a bullet in your head. And this guy comes in and puts a tray of sandwiches and beers on the sideboard. And he says, ladies, eat. If you just play nice, you'll go home in the morning, no problem. This is merely a precaution. We've had some security issues, so do not worry yourselves.
And if nobody else steps up and says, well, you know, can we get rid of these? If this is just an inconvenience, then why are we tied up?
Do you want to make a flirting spend?
Muted. I have too little left at this point to be flirty about it. No, I'm just you know.
Then maybe a cool spend to convince them.
No.
Then I think you kind of step up, and the guy goes, "It's for our own safety as well as yours."
Okay. So, but they're tied in front, so we can at least eat sandwiches.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he looks around, and you see him kind of do a head count, and kind of narrows his eyes, like, I thought, oh, okay, there's one more than I thought there was supposed to be, but okay. And they'll back out of the room, and we'll shut and throw the lock on the door.
No, no, I'm going to sit tight.
Okay. The women will pick up the sandwiches, the beer. A couple of them are clearly deeply suspicious of that. They won't eat the sandwiches, but they will, pop the caps on the beer. They kind of sniff it as if they could tell if it was drugged. But we'll drink.
And of course, Henry won't take the sandwich either. She'll be watching for who does take the sandwich and whether there's any after effect.
And that is the thing. I think you will see the women who eat the sandwiches will, after about a half hour, start to doze off, leaving like you and another one of these women who's was deeply suspicious of everything. And she kind of looks at you like, she says, they're going to kill us.
That may not be true. Look, what we have to do is if we hear anyone coming back in, we need to play sleepy too, okay? Because they obviously want us to be asleep. So when they come back in, we play sleepy, okay? It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Clearly doesn't like it, but she'll nod and go along with what you're doing. Here's the thing, Carl. It was a clean snap. Like you did it with like with all of your perfect skill, and you're still kind of admiring how well you did it as you bring the body down. What do you want to do? Yeah, this guy's going to be missed.
Yeah, I don't think. Well, I think I'm going to report it on comms to my team because maybe Jimmy and his buddy can play off this interesting thing, something. So I'm just going to say, I found one of those guys. He's snapped. I'm going to put him in. I'm going to pick some of the cabins that is like unoccupied and put him in the wardrobe in this like cabin, and then like close the door. Okay. And put on the door like do not disrupt or something like this.
Yeah, you find what's clearly a guest cabin. You know, it's laid out for the wealthy with a mixture of bondage gear and booze and drugs. You'll put this guy into one of these closets here and lock it up.
And I'm going to like let the Jimmy know if he wants to like do something with this guy. I like say I would like really appreciate if you can like, I don't know. Just for your information.
I'll come over in the comms and say, clearly the helmsman is a pretty important man on board. So they are going to start looking for him pretty soon, Carl. So personally, I think the guy we need a bit of man overboard here, possibly. They need to think that he indeed is gone. If not, they're going to spend a shitload of time looking for him, which means they could easily find us. So I think we need to close that right down with him going over the side and a hue and cry of man overboard.
Cool. Well, luckily there is a huge amount of drugs on the table. Gonna paint an overdose scene over here. So gonna leave the door open so they will find him easily and clear overdose. Hopefully they will not look at his clean snap neck. We'll see.
So what I see as the stages of this is you want to put some drugs in his mouth, let him dissolve, drag the body, drop him overboard, and make from there to the cabin you were originally aiming for.
I don't want to drop the body over the board because that would be like, I want to stage an accident that he just like walked in, decided to use it, and like overdosed. So this type of accident, because if I hit the body over the railing, everyone will like rush to like find out what's happening. If they're gonna search for him a little bit and then find his body, I'm hoping that they will like realize that he's gone, overdosed, like better like clean it up ourselves.
So that's
I love the idea that the overdose would cause a neck to break.
He could easily, basically, you want to stage the scene. That's what you want to do in a car.
So,
look as if he took some drugs, fell over, and broke his neck.
So there are a couple of, I think if you have a criminology, you could easily use that to generate a pool. Otherwise, I think this is a cover roll.
That makes sense. I'm going to spend 2 from cover. Let's see those lovely dice. Rolling.
Yes. Get in there, Carl.
11. Man, I'm so good at staging snap neck accidents.
Yeah. Essentially, before the body has a time to rigor or the blood flow stop, you bang his head against the corner of something.
Maybe I take him to the toilet and just like make that he slipped in the toilet and hit his head on the
jam him up in a way that it makes it, it looks like a horrible fall. The drugs are spilled on the floor. There's drugs in his system, or at least in his mouth, and he will lock that up. And so when he is found, he kind of leaves the door open, so it's an obvious place to check.
Yeah, like slightly open, so that it's not like obviously open, but it's like slightly open to make it suspicious to look here.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I'm going to proceed leading to the Vallejo cabin.
Okay. We will come back to you. You've got that scene stage. Looks good. Jimmy, you and Heinrich can make your way back. Do you want to stop off I mean, first you'd have to go and find some stuff that.
I tell Peter. Peter asked me that over the comms. I say, look, mate, if you want to drug everyone, I'm sure you can find some knocking around here yourself. Get out of the old, Peter. Time to leave behind. You're off the van now. It's time to get your hands dirty.
Yeah, sure. But if you do find anything, bring it back.
Yeah. And then I look at Heinrich. So how are we going to? You know more about this setup than me. What's the best play here?
Just stay cool. I know a way to get back there. They do have, usually a watch person on that. I've been able to get by when they're dozing and try to look, but it's a heavy digital combo lock on where they've got things.
I could get us into that.
All right, he says, and he kind of you see him pull out a little gas can thing, and he says, I'll try and get up and spray this guy, take him out for a little bit. You see if you can do the lock.
Allez, go, all go.
Why don't you roll me 2d6, Jimmy?
Does that represent him?
It represents him.
Mm-hmm. 2d6.
And to be clear, he's going to do it. This is just a question of potential complication or fallout. He moves up. The guy doesn't see him. It comes out of the corner of his eye. And if you've ever seen Diva, that movie, he's just that spray in the face. The guy takes a breath in, and then he slumps into the chair.
My froze the whole time, so I was like, God, I don't know where you're going with that narration. Is it going to be good or bad? Amazing. I know that Heinrich, impressed, mate. You'd fit right in among us. Good stuff. And then I'm going to get to work on that thing.
Okay. So this is either going to be mechanics or filch.
Could it be perhaps digital intrusion, since you said it's a digital lock?
I think that's reasonable. Yeah.
Cool. I will spend 2 from that. What did I get? A 10.
A 10. So what does that look like? What do we see on screen with this? What's the kind of device or thing we see here?
I think what it is that Jimmy has just memorized like loads of root codes, like admin, like original credentials that are not like factory set.
Mm-hmm.
They're often not unreset, and he just starts punching through a few of them, right? And it's like red light, and there's 3 red lights, and then the whole thing locks down, right? And then he just gets the right one, because it's all just a matter of playing the odds, really, at the end of the day.
And you will get that open, and you'll go in. Click on the light, move in. Kept cold in here, like a little bit of cold storage here. You'll check. There are, looks like cocaine, maybe heroin here. Some other assorted goodies, and there are a set that have clearly been set off to the side. As you kind of they're upright. You kind of open them up, and they are like black. What is the word? Like a black polymer column. And you can see, as you kind of are like, what the hell is this? You'll see that they're not completely opaque. They're a little bit translucent, and you can kind of see some Greek writing kind of hanging in the center of them. Like they did these columns up with some kind of ritual lettering.
How big are they?
They're probably about 6 feet tall and probably about 1.5 feet wide. But that's not the most interesting thing here. That would be the 6 coffin-sized objects with electronic locks on them. They aren't exactly like those coffins from the lab, but they're close enough to make you take a step back.
So, Heinrich, if I was to tell you that the word vampire, what would your reaction be?
You mean like the kind of vampiric leech on someone else's career like you are?
Yeah, a little bit like that, but, not so metaphorical.
I'd say I'd heard that term tossed around in connection with you before.
Well, I'm not a vampire.
No, I know that. But like, is that like a code word for something?
Well, I guess, yeah, for this stuff. Come on, yeah, let me take a look. Like, we get pictures of the stuff. We'll have a
He's
nosy.
Like, what the fuck is this stuff? Is this like some sort of stolen artwork?
Look, mate, I know it sounds like crazy bullshit, right? But there is a conspiracy of shadow vampires dating back to ancient Greece times who wish to unleash an apocalypse upon the world, and they've recruited Vallejo as part of it. And your guys are, 6 is being worked by Edom, which is a conspiracy that runs vampiric assets against it. And I've kind of like fallen in the middle of all of this, and hence why there's fucking coffins in the middle of a drug dealer's boat and Greek writing.
He walks over one of the coffins and he goes, yeah, right. And you see him look down and start to work the lock.
I really wouldn't do that, mate. But I take pictures of the stuff, and I am going to pull out the C4 that I have in my pocket.
Okay.
Not like probably yacht destroying amounts, right? But enough to destroy everything in this room for sure. If that's a thing I can do.
You see him hold his finger over that. Let me have you make a cool roll.
I keep going to my computer even though I can't get onto the website.
Oh,
a cool roll. I will spend 2 from that.
Okay.
Has it rolled?
Yeah, looks like an 8.
Okay.
He's still watching you. He sees, he puts his finger on like the final button. He sees you gripping you, and he's like, "You're serious."
Take a look in there, mate. Be my guest.
And you hear the of the release of air, and the top goes. Peter, what are you up to?
I really like it in this bolt hole. You want
to go and try and find some materials?
Yeah, I think we do need to do. Trouble is, I'm actually not very good at sort of poking around or posing as other people. That's not really my skill set. But if I make a spend from medicine, will that give me a temporary pool to bluff my way as a sort of some kind of ship's medic, ship's doctor, ship's nurse?
That's an interesting thing. It assumes that they don't already have something like that.
I mean, how big is the crew estimated for this size of vessel?
I think we're talking a couple dozen people.
Okay, no, you're right. I think then probably make a temporary pool with chemistry. Well, either way.
Well, let me tell you what the obvious thing here is. Evasion, it would be for getting around to try and get to the place, and then a medicine spend to find the materials here. Do you have any investigative skills that you think would give you a pool for knowing how to get around a ship like this?
No, but if I want to bluff people, if it's official people, I could go down the bluffing route of, I'm his drug chemist. And if it's unofficial people, I'd like to go down the medical route. So try and play one side off against the other. So that's the two pools I'd create if I needed them.
Okay. So are you like going out trying to essentially not worrying about getting caught?
The joint. I'd like to definitely know where the galley is. Maybe where, if there is going to be something laid on later, where they might just consume 4 or 5 young girls, where that could possibly be taking place. Maybe a room with, that's nicely taped out with polythene on the floor, that kind of stuff.
So I guess my question is, are you trying to avoid the evasion roll? Or do you want to do the evasion roll and have the other things as a backup? Or
I want to do the evasion roll and use them to get my way out of it if I get caught.
Then let's have you make that evasion roll.
Okay, spending 2. Everyone always loves to spend 2. Should have spent 3. 6.
So I think that you will be moving around, and I think that I'm going to have you actually mark to stability.
Okay.
Because you're also hearing in the background that somebody might be messing with one of these vampire tanks, and the time is getting short, and you are starting to get really stressed. You're feeling like this is not going to go well, and when you do run into one of these staff people who is walking around looking for the helmsman, he's like, who the fuck are you? What is the story you're spinning?
I'm Ginny DeCaster, and I'm the chemist. I mix the boss's stuff.
All right, let's have you make you can spend from chemistry to give yourself that temporary pool.
Yeah, people call me Noah. I know stuff about drugs.
Let's have you roll.
So reducing that pool, that's down to 6. Give me a temporary pool of 3, and I will spend all 3 to try and bluff this guy that is indeed who I am and I should be here. $11. Get in there.
And he's like, you shouldn't be back in this part of this ship. They'll be here later tonight, but not until after the game. Go back up on top side. I don't want anybody wandering around down here, even if you are working for the boss.
Sure. But you said something about the helmsman? You need to be concerned?
No, you go on up top.
Is he just missing? Is that what you said?
He's just missing.
Just missing?
Yeah.
Okay, man. I mean, I don't want to be I don't like ships. So I don't want to be aboard a boat without a captain or something.
The captain is fine. Go on up.
Oh, okay.
Get yourself a drink and hang out.
No problem. So do I continue, or is it back to the bottom?
Where do you want to head to? What area?
I think I will follow the guy's instructions and go above deck.
Yeah, you can see, again, the crew is kind of moving around. A couple of people are clearly, looking for the helmsman, which given what you've seen, that they're going to find him pretty soon. The others are kind of sitting around and waiting. there's a sense of tension, and the general feeling you'll get from them is like they had plans. It was going to be a big party tonight, and in the next few days they were going to head out, but the boss is called, and and now everything's a little bit hectic, and they don't know what the story is quite yet.
Okay, I will relay to the others that basically, he's going to be here soon, and these guys aren't going back up on shore. This place is, they're going to head out from here, so we need to do something once he's on board.
And can I just observe
that
as this plan has gone increasingly pear-shaped, Paul has gone increasingly out of focus?
Yes.
Better?
Yeah.
It's not pear-shaped. No plan survives contact with the enemy. That's perfectly fine.
Henry, you'll hear, some conversation outside of where you've been locked up, and you'll hear, I don't know, Ramirez, blah, blah, blah. I don't know where he is. And you think he's, you check it out. And then after a couple of minutes, after some more sort of murmured conversation, you will hear the sound of the door being opened, clearly like trying to open it a little more discreetly, like a little more quietly. And this guy opens it. He's got his pistol out, and you see him look in, and holsters the 38, and then begins to kind of go around and check on everyone just to make sure that nobody's like choking on their own vomit or anything.
I think I'm still going to sit tight.
Okay.
Because at the minute I can't see that there's anything very interesting to be learned until the principals are back on the boat.
All right. Then you will wait there. The person that you told to sit tight, you kind of look over, and she's getting more and more antsy. You're not doing anything. She's waiting. She's like waiting, like, we're going to jump him. What are we going to do? And then he stands up and he goes, and she's like looking at you like, please, like, let's jump him before he leaves. And then there's that sound of the thing being shut, and she breaks down into tears.
And I will go and comfort her. But no, look, we need to wait until the party or whatever it is starts. We need that cover. Okay? If we go now, they'll just comb the boat. What are we going to do? Leap into the water? Come on.
And you will talk her down. Carl, you will find yourself at the essentially the luxury end of this. You pass through the entertainment center room, with the big flat screen TVs, plasma HD, little projection area, kind of move along past the bar and that kind of thing until you make your way to Vallejo's suite and move into there. And I assume that then you're just going to toss the place.
Yeah, I kind of realized that I should have brought Peter with me, because if there's a computer here, I cannot do anything with it. So unless he keeps pen and paper notes for some reason, I'm not sure what I can find here. But I would like to do like a search.
Yeah.
And try not to leave obvious evidence that the place was like searched. So I'm not like pulling out everything and like.
Yeah, why don't you make a surveillance spend?
Yes. Done.
I think what you will find here is essentially evidence of the drug trafficking. It doesn't necessarily help with what you're looking into, but it is a useful piece of information. You will also find essentially an outline of clearly kind of a proposal, essentially money transfers, things like that being handled from Calix to Vallejo. Some other promises, notes that make you believe that Vallejo essentially was given a great deal of money, but also has been primed to join this Orphic cult, that's been going on for a while. And
is it in a way of like the transcript of their discussion? Is it like?
It's more like ritual papers plus also business papers.
Okay.
Things that go over, here is what's involved in the ceremonies and that kind of thing. And you will also locate a rundown of kind of where the ship is going. Remember that what is it? Montserrat told you that the vessel will be traveling to various places to drop off ritual objects. And while Istanbul isn't listed here, you'll definitely get several of those places that you're guessing the things that Jimmy has found that are going to get deposited there. Like this is supposed to be a focus to increase the power of whatever ritual of darkness they're doing.
Okay. Wow, that's a good deal of information to be found here. I actually want to like plant a listening bug. And is there a computer over here?
Yeah, I think there probably would be a computer.
Cool. So I want to like plant a listening device so we can hear what will be happening here during the party before, if the party will even happen, because at this point I'm not sure if we will get there. And if there is a computer, I think I'm going to put into the USB port a thumbnail drive so that Peter can connect with it remotely, or Jimmy, because they are both good at it. I'm not.
Sure. I think that's either a mechanics or digital intrusion to get that in quietly so it's not going to be spotted.
Yeah, that's why if I had the digital intrusion, I would do it myself. I don't, so.
But you have mechanics, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to.
Yeah, I could do data recovery later then on that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, mechanics, sure. Spending 2. It's on 11.
11. Oh yeah. So you've got a breaker device for this. You pop open the internals of it. You get that set, pop it in there. This will give you can hand it off to Peter. He'll be able to remote access the hard drive and all of that. And you've got a backdoor access to this. Let's take about a 7 or 8 minute break. We'll come back at the 5 after, and we'll come back talking with Jimmy and see where things go next.
Yeah, do we explode or not? At least once, I'm not late after the break.
You're like a good wizard. You're there when you should be there. Never late, never early.
A good wizard. Awesome.
Well, this has gone well so far, hasn't it?
So, Jimmy.
I'm just want to ask this because
Sure.
referring to what you wrote, that we can do either split those 4 sessions 1-3 or 2-2. I'm just wondering if you want to how fast should we go with this action? Do we want to close Barcelona in the next 30 minutes because we could technically maybe try to do it, or do you want to do it 2 and 2?
No, you should finish Barcelona, or you will not have enough time to succeed at what you need to do on the next leg. So, what if you're asking me? Should you push to a conclusion in Barcelona? I would say yes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I have some idea, but it really much depends on what will happen with Jimmy. So that's all I wanted to ask.
Jimmy, can I have you mark a stability?
Yeah, that seems about right.
As we have a flashback to the old Salem's Lot kind of thing, as this comes open and there is a not desiccated, but certainly emaciated figure, red-eyed, and the second that opens up, they kind of start to push and move. They are connected up to things. You have vampirology, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
That's not a vampire, but you're not sure what it is. And it starts moving at the second, it gets whiff of blood. And Heinrich jumps the fuck back.
And I slam that thing back down again.
Okay. I think I want an athletics check from you.
Okay. I will spend 2. We all love spending 2. And it goes so well for us also, this isn't it? Do someone want to just roll it for me? Sorry, my phone is not really playing nice with thingy.
Well, everybody just rolled a whole bunch of numbers, so let's have someone choose here.
Well, why don't we go with Paul was the first one, I think, with an 11.
So yeah, you'll get that.
No, that was at 8:47. Sorry, 8:57. 9:07. It was just Henrietta who rolled, actually, I think.
It was the last person to roll, yes.
Yes, that's a 4.
Yeah, I rolled 11.
Oh, you did roll 11. Well, I'll take the 11. Whew.
Then Carl rolled an 11.
Yeah.
Then Henry rolled last.
I won't take Henry since it was last. That would seem perverse. I'll go with
He's trying to sabotage it. That's what Alan's doing.
It's weird. It doesn't give me the last 3 rolls. It gives me Alan's roll, and then the recent rolls are back 11 and 21 minutes ago.
Yeah.
It's a little
mine's all weird.
Let's see. I can hit roll history. Yeah. There we go. All right.
There are even safety tools. I'm amazed.
Yeah, it actually looks like Carl at 11 was rolled earlier, about 10 minutes ago.
I think the timing's not right on the thing, to be honest.
Oh, you don't think so?
No, because I did see, because Peter did hit it as well, and it went 11, and I think it just did.
That's weird.
And the time skipped forward to the right time.
This is an interesting thing.
Take your medicine like a good boy.
I don't care one way or the other.
100%. I definitely did roll.
Yeah.
100%.
So, Jimmy, you will slam that back down. and get that shut, and you hear the kind of the scraping against it. You kind of look, it doesn't have the same like built-in safety measures that those coffins did, like built-in C4, anything like that. These are mostly just like containers. And I think it takes you a second, but you recognize that person now that you kind of shake your head and like shake it off. And you think back to those reports that I believe Alan dug up about that guy from Stuttgart who was the killer.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Grimes.
Yeah. And that was him in there.
Oh my God.
Amadeus Grimes.
Yeah.
Christ. And he looks different, right?
Yeah, like something has clearly activated whatever vampiric blood was in him. He's not a vampire, but he's something else.
Yeah, nothing good from what I remember from Amadeus Grimes.
Yeah. You do hear that.
And he worked for HGD, which was part of the Roman. Christ, the cogs of everything within everything. But I'm like, Heinrich.
You suspect he probably got grabbed up by.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. You know that one of the things was they got a list of these people. And so Morgaine's people probably grabbed him up.
Well, whilst Jimmy feels some sympathy towards, the offshoot of genetic experiments by Edom and stuff back in the past, he's not that sympathetic. And he just says to Heinrich, get that fucking thing locked and let's blow this fucking thing, right? We got to get out of here.
Okay. Like he's still kind of.
This is what our bosses did back then. Together with these spooky fucks.
Okay. And he begins to look around and kind of move things. And let's come back to Carl. I think Carl, as you kind of have finished grabbing up these things, you've done some accounting, I think you get that report from Jimmy.
Yeah, so I don't know. Do we want to like extract and come back in the evening? Because an alternative plan would be to just like sink the boat and use the incriminating materials I have to like just submit it to the officials and hopefully they will apprehend Vallejo for some time delaying him. And if we sink the boat, all the stuff is like kind of lost. I mean, the sweet spot is like we can like sink the boat, but have the team of divers underneath just to grab the coffins and the stuff and just like hide it somewhere.
I think time's running out, Carl. Henry's in the lockup. Vallejo's on his way back here, and whatever. And this man down here is going to be waking up soon. It's all going to, sooner or later, we're going to have to bug out or make shit or get off the pot, basically.
Jimmy, do you think Vallejo will get here before that thing wakes up?
I don't know.
Can you hold it shut?
I don't know what these things can do. Some of them can turn into shadows, can't they? My bet is we get Henry and those women out of here now.
Yeah, I'd like to take Vallejo off the board. How about we start sabotaging life rafts around the boat?
Keep in mind, Vallejo's not going to be back here for 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. If we start taking some life rafts off the offline, we could probably sink this boat. I think your explosion is going to sink it. Any explosion below a waterline isn't particularly good for a boat. Yeah, and we'll extract Henry and the women. Clearly, most people won't be interested in, there's 4 women below deck. Either Henry can extract himself and the women, or will Knights in Shining Armour go in and carry him out?
But the
Listen,
question is, do we like sink the boat now, or do we wait? Because if we sink the boat, probably we will not get to kill Vallejo when he's here.
I'd like to get Vallejo, but if Jimmy thinks these things are gonna, if they're coming out of those coffins, then I think we're gonna need to go now.
listen.
But I don't think they're out yet.
Listen, maybe it'll hold, maybe it won't. 6 hours is a long time to stay in that bolt hole, Peter.
You know,
Not when we've got a dead crewman, we've got a knocked out one. Listen, and what they've got down here. My thing is, I'm setting these bombs. Hopefully they'll hold. They'll hold, right? And then I'm gonna go get Henry and those women out of here before anything happens to any more of them. No more blood on our hands, right?
okay, so we've got some evidence because Carl's got that. So we're in a good position there. And clearly we've stopped them transporting some nastiness to where it needs to go. So I think we've got a bit of a win there. So yeah, set off the bombs, Jimmy.
We can take Vallejo off the board by just incriminating with all this shit here.
Yeah.
You know?
So
Yeah, I think you've got some good shit there, Carl.
yeah. So I guess so cool. So if we're not gonna go with this plan, I think we will see Carl just like, because we are is there like a cell range here, or do I need to like pop up, or do I need to like use like a satellite satellite phone?
Well, I assume they have probably a Wi-Fi network here that can broadcast to shore, probably, and they probably got cell reception. You're not that far offshore.
Yeah. So I will, if they have a cell reception, I will make a call. This might require a good preparedness roll. Basically, I'm calling a friend to have a team of divers nearby. They are gonna grab underwater, and they're gonna grab those coffins and this like column stuff as the boat will be sinking, and we will hide it somewhere because why not?
All right. I think that because of the time that you need and because of your level of heat, I think I want you to make that network roll at a disadvantage.
Yes, I'm spending all 3 on this. I mean 3 points.
It's a good risk.
Yeah. 3 dice plus 3.
That's a good roll.
5, 3, and a 3, 11.
Yeah. So they will say we'll be able to get it, in the next 48 hours, we'll be able to get there, and get stuff moved out as best we can. We got to let it settle. We can't do it, right away, but yeah, and we can get there before anybody else can get there to salvage.
Awesome, guys. I'll contact you when you have the goods.
Okay.
Good. Team capture on position. Let's proceed with this.
Jimmy, let me have you make a demolitions roll. Explosive, sorry.
I thought I'd have to do that when it went off.
Yeah. Well, this is you setting it.
Yeah. I would like to, at this point, spend military science to give a 3-point pool for everybody who could have, who can act off my, I've cased a lot of the joint on my way down here. I've got Heinrich stuff, right?
Absolutely.
And I can't see how I could turn that into an explosives roll. So I'm just going to spend all 3 of my points in explosives to do that.
Let's have you roll.
Because I really want this to work. Has it rolled?
Let me see.
Yeah, 9. You rolled a 5 and a 1.
So that is a 9. So it's taking you longer than you wanted to get this set up because you've got to move on a lot of different places. Heinrich has to supplement you have to pull whatever he has stored, and you're having to move around on this. And
so it's a bigger explosive than I originally intended. Perhaps.
Well, to be able to get to do this, so it is going to sink.
Yes,
you need
exactly.
to do it at several different points.
Okay. And Heinrich, I do ask him, where are these women?
Well, he directs you up so you can pass that on. But as I was saying, takes you a little bit longer than you would like and stuff. And I think there is a moment when you're on like comms with Heinrich, and Heinrich says, "What is?"
Oh, that was either the most remarkable pause.
Well,
or did you freeze?
That was a remarkable pause.
That was a remarkable pause.
And
we'll come back to you in just one moment. I assume you've passed that info on to Peter and Carl about the location. Peter, what are you doing now that the word has been going, given the signal has been dropped?
That we're going to blow this joint.
Yeah.
I think secure an escape route. So let's look at a decent. I don't want no over the head donut ring. I'd like a nice life raft.
Or like one of these boats.
A launch.
Yeah, they've got a launch on here. So essentially you're kind of moving over by that and you want to get that settled?
Yes.
Okay. What's your driving like?
Driving is good.
Okay. Then I think I want either a driving roll to get it set up or a cool roll to play it easy so nobody notices you messing around with this thing. Either way, basically to get it set and not be spotted, kind of thing.
Fair one. I'm going to go with driving. I'm going to spend 2 points, leaving me with not much, but that's good. 14. Get in there.
Oh yeah. You're kind of by there. There's probably little drop controls, things like that. You kind of lean in, checking how much gas it has. You check the thing to do the drop of the launch, get it ready. You've chosen one that has a nice field of movement in where you're not going to be spotted by people up top, because you are hearing people go, oh my god, the helmsman's dead, oh my god, Jimmy's Jew, oh my god, I can't believe it. Carl, what are you doing?
I guess it falls to me to get to Henry, so I'm going to the location that Jimmy passed on, where they are holding the Henry and the other women.
You move up, you see a couple of guards. They're sitting there. They're particularly casual, though they're carrying that. What? He OD'd? Yeah. And broke his neck? Jesus. In the bathroom? Was he on the can? Oh, good. Boss isn't going to like it.
So since they already know, can I get to them with a knife, or do I have to shoot them? Can I I think I will. I mean, is there a lot of space to get to them, a long corridor, or
you've got your choice. You can move up swiftly and do the knife work close in, or you can pop with silenced pistol. Either way, it's combat against an inferior foe.
Yeah. I guess we're gonna go with Carl will climb on the pipes on the ceiling as they are talking on the comms, and then just drop on them and finish them
very Sam Fisher style. Okay, let's have you roll.
I'm going to spend 2 on this. 2 dice. 2. Ooh, a 7.
So that is a 7. So pretty much your intent, since you aren't trying to force them in a particular direction or pin them down, you're just trying to deal harm to them. And there's just 2 of them. So if you choose deal harm, you can take them both out.
Yes, I'm doing that.
Yeah. If this were a larger group, you'd be in a bad position at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But drop down onto them. You'll hear that outside the door, Henry. And then you'll hear and the door will come open, and you see Henry and another woman who's playing being asleep, and 4 other women who are unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, you took your bloody time. Okay. Start taking these out. Well, we got 4 unconscious women.
Yeah. I guess I like hand you a handgun so that you are armed, and I will try to like. I don't know how many Carl can carry, but hopefully there's like 1 more.
You can do 2 with athletics roll, or 1 without an athletics roll.
Well, we can't leave anyone behind, so I guess I have to like extend myself to like carry 3 of them, because I assume that the one that is
there is no way for you to carry 3 women, but two with an athletics roll, or 1 with no roll and no check.
How many women are out?
There are 4 of them.
Yeah.
What, 4 women unconscious, or
Well,
3
no, hang
women
on,
unconscious and 1 walking?
I think you need to let Carl make his decision.
Yeah. What do you want to do, Carl?
Yeah, I'm gonna take 2 of them, and I'm gonna go in the comms. Jimmy, I need you around here. There are 2 more to carry. We have 4 unconscious women here. I'm gonna need help carrying 2 of them.
Carl, let's have you make an athletics roll, and then I'm going to check in with Henry, and then I'm going to come back to Jimmy.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend 2. $11.
Oh yeah, so it's one of the things, you one shoulder on the other, and Peter has it a clear route. He's chosen one that is a good clean route, and with that 11, you will be able to get them up onto the boat without anybody spotting you. Okay. Henry, what are you doing while Carl?
I will direct the awake woman, girl, to get one of them out.
Okay. And she kind of drags, pulls as best she can.
And I will try to pick up the 4th one.
Okay. I'm going to have you make an athletics roll,
yeah,
both for you lifting, but also for you directing her, because it's really 2. If it was just 1, I wouldn't have you make the roll, but
I've spent 3. Gee whiz, I'm rolling well. So that is a 10 altogether.
Okay. So the 2 of you are also making your way up behind. She finally you show her how to fireman carry the woman, and
tell her to take her heels off.
She kicks them off and go up. Jimmy.
I go straight for where Heinrich is, gun ready.
And I think you'll make your way back, and you'll see Heinrich laid out on the floor. And you see this guy, Amadeus, up, and he's like found a tackle knife. He doesn't have fangs. And so what you see him doing is he's leaning over like he's got Heinrich's arm, and he's clearly going to cut a line, and like he's just hungry.
And Heinrich hasn't got any immediately fatal wounds on him, does
he? No, he just got like clobbered over the head.
Yeah. Then I spend my talent blocker.
Okay.
To run in, and I'm hoping that maybe I can use that to sort of gain temporary advantage in this.
Yeah, I like get yourself the edge. So tell me what that looks like. What do we see on screen happen?
What you see on screen happen is Jimmy come sprinting up the corridor and then take a big flying kick towards him and like come down with his knees like around that arm with a knife and like snap the arm back, and he's going to lean in hard to try and like stab Amadeus with his own, like bend his arm back and stab him with that knife.
Perfect.
Using all of his weight.
Against an equal foe with advantage.
Okay. And I will spend, I'm so low on stuff. I will spend 2 points because I feel it's important and I want to have some left still. With advantage, right? So that's 3d6.
There's almost no chance you could fail now.
The app is weird on a phone, like bits load and then don't load. Hang on, I got it now.
Yeah, it runs a little slow for me still on the regular thing. I haven't tried the visual yet to see if it's any, or the text if it's any different. So
that is a 13.
So you will deal harm to your foe and suffer no harm. Choose to deal more harm, take it or give advantage forward, reposition the conflict, or something else.
Oh, actually, can I have spent those 2 out of my military science one to know like the exact route through the things and like the
I like that.
jump on the thing? Yeah, so just to give myself more points back in my thing. But yeah, so I will do, I think, more harm here.
Yeah, I think the arm twists back. You've done the blocker, and he slits his own throat. You do that, and when the blood comes out, there's that minute where he flies back. And he's so hungry, he's trying to drink the blood as it's coming out of his own throat. He's like trying to catch it and put it in his mouth, and he's falling back. And he realized he suddenly realized he's not getting anything from it, and blood everywhere, staggers back, and then slips on the blood and just slumps down. And you hear the sound of other voices coming from back the way that you came towards the thing of like maybe he opened the other coffins.
Dude.
Okay. So give me the montage of you running to the boats, Jimmy.
I think it's me, Heinrich, like leaning, like stumbling and like staggering with me, and I'm dragging him along, right? And maybe he like fires off a couple of rounds at a guy who runs around the corner, and then like, dude, poof, whole ship.
And all of you are at the boat. Carl, Peter, you're kind of at the main controls. You've got these women back there. You see Jimmy come running. He's got Heinrich with him, and you see him push the button, and the whole boat just shakes. And I imagine there's some people that come out. Carl, I imagine that you're providing covering fire. They pop up their heads around the thing, and they fall back. And now they're shouting and communications, and people are running for the other boats that have been cut up or sabotaged or whatever. And Jimmy leaps in the back of this boat as Peter, you hit that winch, and there'll be that free fall. The boat will hit the water hard, and you gun the engine as soon as you can. So when this thing starts to tip or starts to create that vortice, you are far enough away that you catch that. You don't head back to Barcelona Harbor. You head off a ways down the coast, even as you see some explosions, and you can see where as the boat starts to go up, you'll see this group of people come running up out from below the hold, and the people that are still firing guns at you, hands grab them and pull them back, and then you'll see a silhouette of a spray as those things from the coffins begin to just, they don't even care about living. They don't even care about the boat going down. They just want to feed. And as it's getting towards, we see the sunset behind us, this boat goes down below the waves, and we see the 4 of you plus these women heading off into the distance.
Jimmy is covered in blood, like absolutely like white pale eyes staring out from just red all over him.
I shall pull out a very small handkerchief and pass it to you, Jimmy.
Dog. And that's Barcelona. we will
went pretty well, I thought.
We will take up in Istanbul next time. We will cut to you on the ground in Istanbul. We'll figure out your covers, how you got in, all of that. You'll drop a tick of heat for crossing lines, and I won't do any increase of heat, so you'll be down 1 below burning hot, but you will be there. We'll put you on the ground there. You may refresh everything, and you may take an advance. This will probably be your last advance.
When you say refresh everything, do you mean everything? Or
I mean talents, I mean investigative skills, I mean general skills, everything resets.
Cool.
We shift missions, and we head to Istanbul.
Remind me what an advance is worth.
Okay, let us go to that. An advance, you get, 3 to spend. You can get 1 to get 1 general, 1 to get an investigative, 1 to get talent. You can also get 1 to get a new investigative skill. Like if you have one that's grayed out that you want to have.
How many things do you get? 2, 3.
3.
3. 3.
Yeah. Well, a little more generous. I suspect in the long run, I would probably take those numbers down, but I'm pretty happy with where they are right now. And if you don't mind, I would like to do a quick stars and wishes, even as the boat is going down in the background. Peter, Paul, let me start with you.
Great session, actually. One of my favorites, to be honest. I like the banter from Alan with Henry. That's perfectly good. I like the pushback on that. And, Jimmy's hesitant sort of nature. But, he came in and, Carl always supportive and really coming up with some big sort of Mission Impossible. This is not small time sort of, CD made for TV stuff. Carl brings the big stuff, and, that's what we like to see. And, Lowell, the 4, instantly Alan rolled a 6 and you came up with those women in the hold. I thought that was sort of pretty magic there. And I think a lot of people probably wouldn't have gone near that. And I think, you ran it really, really well. It could have, got pretty nasty or, and, that was some really good GM as far as I thought. Thank you.
Thank you. Any particular wishes, specific things you want to see for Peter here as we go into this last arc?
If I said more destruction, I think the other players would boo me. So
okay.
Probably not,
Jimmy Rook.
Apart from Carl, of course. Carl would like more destruction.
Right. Jimmy Rook.
I'm glad that we went down all this route. It was fun. We saved people. That was cool. And we found out Amadeus Grimes and all that. Was really cool. That was such a good twist. I loved, just how out of control this all went and how it escalated, and how we still managed to overcome it all. And I very much enjoyed all of the back and forth and the strategizing and the in character arguing over the details and stuff like that. It's good. Wishes. I do want to do some shooting. I loved facing off against a supernatural creature in the corridors of a ship, of a luxury yacht, right, with a hold of them chasing me. I would love to see more of that. I suspect as we're going into the finale of it, we will, we've got to go to the Underworld, right? That's going to be supernatural as hell. So I'm looking forward to that kind of stuff.
Excellent. Alan?
I to be honest, my heart wasn't in it. I'll be honest with you. You gave me a couple of chances to have a go at getting out of that room, but I still thought we were playing for the long game and trying to get some information on the key players. And then once once we discover that there's stuff in the hole that's really ritual, then it all goes a bit pear-shaped. Wishes, I think, I just feel it's becoming too James Bond.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, I'd like to tie it back to espionage at root.
I think that's a fair comment. We had some heavy stuff today that went a little on that hard end. Okay, yeah, I think that is a fair point. And Carl?
Oh, it felt so good. It felt so good to achieve finally some victory after spending summer session spying stuff. It felt so good to actually do something and have some positive results come out of this, hopefully. So like it was really good. Jimmy, I love that you again put out the same trick, like, oh, I know this guy. And yeah, it was like really cool. Now it was like totally off the boat, even for me. The beginning of the Paul plan was like driving to the forest. Like, where do you get a forest in the middle of the city? And like this plan was like not possible, but it was like really, oh my god, yeah, we are doing there. Yeah, I don't know how, but we are doing it. It was really fun to hear this strategy plan and then scale it down to like, yeah, this is what we can do, and it was really good. Thank you, Lowell, for somehow mentoring us to go from this like impossible to possible. It was really good that you like, let's maybe, there are a couple of things for you to consider. Okay, let's go scale down and finally something we can do. It's cool that you closed the lead we found out that there was this like breeding of vampire babies, and we like somehow see it, somehow the result of it. It was really cool.
This is how this side of the conspiracy is using them, at least.
Yeah. Wish-wise, I don't know. If we're gonna fight Calix, we have to like learn something more about him, but I have no idea how we can do it. So I don't know. Maybe we'll find some book of how to deal with supernatural threats. I don't know.
You've got the pieces. You've got some Banes and things. Yeah.
Or not. So yeah.
I will say I think it's interesting because there is that two poles of in the trenches, getting the information, investigation on the one hand, and the tension and the difficulty that comes with that, and that sort of feeling like it's a slow crawl versus the blowing a ship up and sinking it to the bottom of the bay. So it is a balancing act. So I do get where that's coming from, and we'll try and see. Hopefully, we can get parallel tracks such that we can have some of that going on both sides of the thing, rather than the whole op going in one direction. So I'm going to stop the recording.